Hello and welcome to the Cardboard Bunker. My name is Pieburn and we are back in Space Engineers. And Pam's returning home. I hope Pam isn't going to crash. It's pretty close. That's lucky. Anyway, welcome back to Space Engineers. I'm back in and today we have to basically redo all of that work again. It was about 6 hours worth of work. I did do some mining in between and I did let the bar system run for a while and I was testing out ideas, but my goal today is to have a special docking area. As you can see, Pam gets in a little close there and it is kind of dangerous. Oh yeah, there's my my gravel ejection system that seems to be working. I've added under here another dump drive and I've started putting in another one over here. This one will be built up. Also put in an ore detector. So my goal today is to build a docking area down here. I'll be bringing the Cookie Monster down, plonking it under here, and then I will be building out the other side exactly the same as this, so I'll have a complete cross-section. I'd say it's a profile, but a complete cross-section of the basic shape, at least the rear shape of the Janus. And then I'll bring that forward to this area here. Now this space in front of the refining factory floor area will also be used for storage. And in front of here is the long-range targeted missile system or torpedo system, vertically launched torpedo system, vertically for the ship anyway. So it's a lot of work to do. It's a lot of stuff to do. I should say a lot of stuff to redo. The bar system inside the ship has been turned off because I find it easier to figure out exactly what I'm doing with just blocks. So let me get into that and I'll probably put together a montage, maybe ramble myself through this. I might even put a little bit of mood music on to make the time go faster, because quite honestly 6 hours worth of work is gone, just gone, and it's rather disappointing. And I apologize because it not only delayed the release, but it's also put me off recording a little bit too. But I'm muddling through and I'll get through and it will happen, and hopefully you can probably tell by my voice I'm going a little bit crazy I'm having to redo this. Normally I would just go right whatever and plop it in on creative, but I don't want you guys to just see a result when I'm doing a lot of this stuff. I want you to see how I think when I'm going through and what I'm doing and you know. Anyway, enough about that. Let's get back into here. Let's get this work done, and I'll see you at the other side of plotting out the areas. Okay, so when I'm trying to make something symmetrical in survival, the grid system really helps, and you can see how I've used the grid system to sort of block out what's happening and where. You can see, we can also see a few of the weak points. So through here, even though there's a lot of heavy armor, because there's no space, there is potential for missiles and whatnot to come through here. But that's something I'll have to look into shortly to fix up. More than likely I will just build it out here, if that makes sense. This is one solution that we can go through if I can get out of my own way. So this is one solution, so it does create a bit more of a buffer. Same again here, put this through here, but then we've lost all of this potential storage area. It's not a ship this size, I don't think that's going to matter too much, and I think having a lot of this as armor would be a good idea. As you can see, I've already started building it up here just to see how well that will do. And if you look inside here, that's pretty much all solid armor anyway. There's a few ribs here and there. Actually, that's not a bad idea. I think I did have this thought earlier and it's only just reoccurred to me. But maybe I should build this entire profile as a single separate grid. Maybe I'll do that on the front once I've got it there, and use that and a projector to place in the ribbing all the way down until we get to this spot, and possibly even further back. Thoughts for a future. Anyway, let's get back into this. So I'll start by placing the bottom layer of armor here, and we'll do the same as I've done before. It's 1, 2, 3, then we'll put the fourth and the marker, and we've got to go down 3 of the grid markers. 1, 2, 3 grid markers. Yeah. And then we'll come across, we'll come straight up and then across, so that we've got at least that section down on pattern. So we've mirrored that small section. Let me pull out the pointing tool. So just looking at the edge of my welder there. I'll even see. Look there. No. You can see through this section here, we've mirrored that. So now we need to come up 1 square, go across 2, up 1 and 3, up 1, and that should be the next grid line through there. Okay, so we'll do that next. Up 1 and 2, and then up 1, 1 and 3, up 1 and 3 again. Does that look about right? 1, 2, 3 up, 1, 2, 3 up. Then we come straight across to the edge, so that this goes 2 here. Bang. And run into, the trick here is to run into as many blocks as you can while flying around. The more blocks you run into, the better you are at flying. So we need to go up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. This point here we need to go up 8. This kind of design is essentially like an old dot matrix now. I don't know how many people are old enough to remember what a dot matrix printer is, but essentially it was a little squirt gun. I think they used to also call them laser jet printers. We need to come up 1 more row. We need to go across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in that row. Get Mr. Pointy out here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with heavy armor. And we're coming 2 from the edge, and this is pretty much how they used to do it. It would be 1 row at a time. Oops, 1 row at a time, and they would lay down a small dot of ink, and the printer would go from there. Okay. So the next row up is 1 in and up by 2, and then on the edge we need to go 3. 1 in and up by 2, and then 3 from the edge. 1, 2, 3. Get rid of that one. Okay, so it's starting to look the same. Now once we have this profile done here, we'll be able to project forward pretty much like we've done here, all the way towards the front, and that will give us the points that we need to worry about. So we could probably do that for every single one, but what I like to do is the intersections. So this intersection here will go forward, this will, and this one, this will. This intersection will go forward here, this intersection here, and this point here will go forward, plus all the major turning points throughout. And as we start projecting each line forward, we'll then start filling it in like we've done up there. That's the other reason why I don't have the bar system on, especially with heavy armor and such a small inventory. If I had to drill whole armor, heavy armor plates especially, I would be flying back and forth to empty my inventory. Oh, you can also see that I haven't actually put in a lot of the hydrogen tanks in here either. But that's because I need to go to a planet As you can see, we've got most of the profile done. Kind of looks funny. That's because I'm missing some blocks here. So you can see we need to come up from the inside here. And now we need to go on the top row here, we need to come in by one and go two across. Building something giant like this in creative is a lot easier because you can click on the first block, turn on symmetry, and then everything you do will be mirrored and you don't have to worry about creating a symmetrical shape. So we need to come in by 1 and 3 blocks. Okay, so you can see where I've been projecting lines forward to give me the distance I need, and to also a second attachment point for that front section there. This is the spacing I would like to have between the start of the vertical launch system. I think I mentioned that earlier on in maybe episode 4 or 5. And then this is the front of the observation deck and bridge. Not the main bridge, but the observatory bridge. We'll be doing some more work on there later. Now this is where I got confused last time as well, and you'd think doing it the second time it would be easier. But what I might do is just mark on the outside where I need to go and then check it out afterwards. I kind of have an extra, I have a point there that I need to stop at. Alrighty, so in by 2 by 2 by 2. It's pretty much 2 in until we get to the top. Most of that is solid. So if I fly all the way back here, flying back. Oh, that's the other thing I have forgotten I did in the previous recording. I had all these turrets in and everything was built and I was happy. I was very happy. Anyway, does that look right to you? Because it looks kind of alright to me. Yes, yes it does. 1, 2 gap there. Only a single gap there. Why is that? Because I've put that in the wrong spot. I'm talking about this gap here. So this one shouldn't be here. And we need to make sure we put these ones in. Rightio, flying through the framework. As we get this more and more done, it's going to be more and more hazardous to fly around. And that's another good reason why I have the bar system in. Because that means I don't actually have to go in and weld all of this stuff up by hand. Can you just imagine if I kept the bars off and I welded this by hand? Wow, that's just wow. So that's the profile done. I'm going to bring the Cookie Monster over. And we're going to get out of range of that bar system, but that's okay. I have to be a bit careful here because I don't want to smash into anything. But I'm going to do it from this angle down here. Because what I want to do is bring the Cookie Monster into this position where it's centered and ready to go. Under here is the hangar for what will eventually be the mini Janus, and I'm pretty sure that I will use this framework as the mini Janus, just modified slightly. Let's come back and down a little bit more. Now this time I can't park by feel. I have to use the eyes, make sure I don't smash into anything. So I don't have to place all that framework again. Make sure we give ourselves enough room to be able to bring the whole thing inside. More than likely this will be open anyway, like a Star Wars Imperial Star Destroyer, pretty much like they brought the where they brought the Corellian in, the larger dock. Okay, so as you can see, it's not quite perfect, but that's okay because we need to give ourselves a bit of wiggle room as it were. So I'm going to use this area here that we measure out the basic idea of where the mini Janus will be, or the Cookie Monster, or whatever we decide to land under here. And it's going to give us a bit of space. but then I will apply the grid system I've been using to make sure that we have everything fit within the right framework that I've been continuing. I want everything to kind of work within that grid system because I think we are going to need to go up a second grid section to make sure that we give ourselves enough headroom for this thing. So that gives us the docking frame. It's not a lot of room, not a lot of room at all. I may do a little bit more sculpting over here. But in measuring this, I've also realized that I've probably taken away some of the space for the quarters that I was originally planning to put under the factory. That could also be a good thing because we may need to put the living quarters off into the sides here. So we may be able to put some of the living quarters in this area here. There's plenty of space. I'm not worried about fitting people in. I'm more worried about making sure that it looks good and it feels good and it feels kind of like a flowing system, something that's specifically designed for people to live in. So let me just finish filling out all of this. I need to put in some way to connect these two machines together. So we're going to need conveyors and we are going to need a connector. We'll get the conveyors going first and we'll just bring it down from here. Let's bring in the armour, make sure I have got it all in the right position. I want this to be separate. If I want this hanger area here to be separate, let's use my pointy welder. I want this section here to be separate from the rest of the ship and sealed off. I need to make sure that this is a conveyor junction here, because this essentially will be the roof. I may do a curvy roof at some stage, but for now I think it would be quite safe to do this. More than likely the curvy roof will be incorporated into this side of things as well. That's all attached. We can bring the rest of the tubing down. What I'll do is I'll let the bar system go for a while. I'll put the rest of this framework in and then we'll come back in and I'll start adding some of the internals for the floor because I need bars working for that. So I'm going to turn the bar systems on. I'm going to let this all weld up for a while, let everything finish off, and then what I'll do is I'll come back in and we will put in, we'll start putting in the internal. So inside these floor sections here will be things such as gyroscopes and batteries. There's lots and lots and lots of weight that we need. I'm guessing close to 6,000 or 7,000 gyroscopes. I think one of my original calculations was around the 5,000 mark, but I'm going to double that and hopefully squeeze in something like 10,000 gyroscopes. So the power plant we're going to need for this thing is going to be huge, and I honestly don't think that this section here full of large reactors will be enough. Honestly, I don't think it'll be enough. But we're also going to make sure that we put in enough batteries in between the floors, both underneath the observation deck and between the factory deck and this small section here. Thank you very much. The sections here, so between pointy welder here. So I'll have batteries up in here and then batteries down in between these two floor sections here. So we've got enough of a backup. And if you think about it, This is probably the rear half of the Janus, probably even the rear third of the Janus. We've still got to add the engines on the back here. Then we are going to have storage, vertical lift, welcome back Pam, vertical launched missiles, torpedoes there. And then in front of that we will then have another section which will be energy production, hydrogen production and storage, as well as then maybe a mini factory going on. Obviously not as abundant as that, probably even 1/10 of that, 10% of that will go in there. And then we have to try and figure out, make sure we have passages going all through it so that you can walk from one end to the other. It's also not going to be the fastest ship. Don't expect this to be a racy little ship. That being said, if you put it in a world with a modded speed limit, 100 meters per second is enough for this, then you are also going to find that it's going to be almost impossible to stop. That will mean crashing into asteroids and whatnot as well. And as we know in Space Engineers, these voxels don't move, so it's not like we can crash into it and nudge the asteroid out of the way as we would in real life. We'd be crashing into a solid object that is almost impossible to destroy. Anyway, what I want to bring up is we need to make sure we have a battery on hand, as well as a gyroscope. Get the gyroscope in there. So what we want to do next is to number 6, that's what I want. What we want to do next is to make sure that we have enough stored power in here as well. So you can see there's quite a fair bit of space under here. This is the observation deck, so I'm just going to place all the batteries in here. I know more than likely I won't get all of these welded up, although the bar system will do a wonderful job of making sure that it all gets done. What I'm also going to place in here, underneath these will be gyroscopes. That's a lot of power, a lot of storage, but this thing is massive. It's going to need every ounce of stored energy it can. You can see in here we already have the light armor and a beautiful silhouette. That will all come in as well, but more than likely what I'll do is place a few of the light armor blocks and then put gyroscopes in as well. As Pam comes in, I would like to say thank you guys all for watching. I'll continue to place in the batteries and the gyroscopes between the floors. I'd like to say thank you all for watching. Please like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Share the video if you think that other people would enjoy this content. Join me on Twitter at Cardboard Bunker. There's no D in front of it, just at Cardboard Bunker. I've now got Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at Pieburn YouTube. I'm also on Twitch. I'll be getting back into the streaming shortly, as I've got something coming up in early February where I'll be jumping on with BJD, also my brother, on Twitch. He's got a challenge for me. I'm also creating a Facebook page soon, so I'll have details for that. Down below there will be a link for the New South Wales Rural Fire Brigade. Please feel free to donate to them if you want to. It really does help the poor volunteers out there who are doing a tremendous job in keeping people and the homes safe. And I will see you all in the next episode. Have fun, guys. Bye.